Hey there, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Thompson and my grandson Micah, and we found a story we'd like to read called Could Be Worse. It's gonna be a funny one. Could be worse. Could be worse. At Grandpa's house, things were always the same. Grandpa always had the same thing for breakfast. Every day, he read the paper. And he always said the same thing. What did he say?
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Grandpa, that awful dog ate this cushion. Could be worse. No matter what. I got a splinter in my finger, Grandpa. Could be worse. My bike has a flat and my sneakers have a hole and I lost my kite in a tree, Grandpa. What did he say?
Could be worse.
Could be worse. That's pretty bad. One day, Mary Ann said, "How come Grandpa never says anything interesting?" "I guess it's because nothing interesting happens to him," said Louie. So they think Grandpa's life is pretty boring. Next morning at breakfast, Grandpa said something different. He said, "Guess what?" Guess what? He said, "Guess what?"
Oh.
What does he usually say? Could be worse. And this is what Grandpa said. "Last night when I was asleep, a large bird pulled me out of bed and took me for a long ride." And dropped me off in the mountains. I heard a noise. It was an abominable snowman with a huge snowball, which he threw at me. I got stuck inside the snowball, which rolled down the mountain. It finally landed on the desert and began to melt. I walked across the desert. Suddenly, I heard footsteps coming nearer and nearer. A moment later, I got squished by a giant something or other. Before I could get up, I heard a strange noise. A great blob of marmalade, you know what marmalade is?
Yeah.
Jelly, was coming toward me. It chased me across the desert until what? I crashed into something tall. It was sort of like an ostrich and very cross. It gave me a big kick. I went up into some storm clouds, almost got hit by lightning, fell out of the clouds. See him falling out of the clouds? And landed in an ocean. I sank about a mile to the bottom. Oceans are really deep, aren't they? I saw an enormous goldfish coming at me. I swam away as fast as I could and hid under a cup that had air in it. When it was safe, I crawled out. I started to walk, but my foot got stuck in the grip of a gigantic lobster. I didn't know what to do, but just then a big squid came along and squirted black ink all over the lobster. I escaped, and I hitched a ride on a sea turtle that was going to the top for a bit of sunshine. I was fortunate to find a piece of toast floating by and rode to shore. See him riding on the toast? Where I discovered a newspaper. I quickly folded it into a paper airplane flew across the sea and back home to bed. Here's Grandpa flying on his paper airplane across the sea and back home to bed. Now, what do you think of that? Ta-da!
Why did he do that?
Ta-da!
Why did he?
What do you think they're gonna say to Grandpa after
Um,
all of those bad things happened?
You're crazy.
Could be worse. Can you think of anything worse than all those bad things that happened to him? How would you like to get grabbed by a giant bird and flown and dropped in the mountains? There are bad things that happen to us sometimes, but usually it could be worse. So what can we do about it?
Pray.
We can pray. We can try to be thankful that it's not worse than it is, right? Bye, boys and girls. Hope you liked the story of Could Be Worse. Thank you, Peyton. Say bye-bye.
Bye.